Okay, so welcome back to part 2 of the Spons 2020 data collection template and data interpretation. So the first thing that we've done is, hopefully at this stage you've watched the first video and you learned where to get this information from. You've taken it from Spons and you've put it directly into Excel spreadsheet. You have entered the descriptions that you found. So for example, the page number in 2020, page number 237, has an item there, 3.01 demolitions. It's the very first item that you'll find in the Spons abridged sheet, and the first item that you see there is demolishing parts of structures by hand, and there's a reference to the cost of skip being included. There's a further description below that then. It says breaking up plain concrete bed load into skip, and there's various different thicknesses stated: 100 mil thick, 150, 200 mil thick and 300 mil thick. And you have collected this data here: the labour hours, the labour pounds, the plant pounds, material pounds, the unit and the total rate. For the next section, the data interpretation section, we can hide some of this. Some of this isn't relevant for us. So we can hide, for example, this column here, PC. We can hide the next one there, labour, plant and material. We can hide all those. And we can hide the total rate. We're not trying to calculate money in this instance. We're just trying to calculate duration, time. So if I click into my worksheet down the bottom, data interpretation, it's a separate worksheet. You'll see down the bottom there, click into that. You can see that this is one that I've prepared, and I've added in a couple of extra columns to make it look a bit more similar to a bill of quantities. If you've seen a sample of a bill of quantities in the past, you'd see a description, a quantity, a unit. Normally you see a rate and a total. In this case we have a productivity, labour hours per unit item. So far all of this information here has just been gathered by reference to Spons, and it's up to you to decide. If you have 100 tasks, for example, you need to do this for 5 of them. We said a minimum of 5 tasks should be assessed using Spons. So I'm going to give you an example here, and again I'm sticking with that same information that we have up here, demolition, and I've written out this description again. So demolishing parts of structures by hand, cost of skip is included, right? That's fine. Breaking up plain concrete bed, loading into skip 100 mil thick, and for the quantity, I'm just going to make up a random quantity. Let's say 175. The unit is meters squared. We can see up there from the total, it's meters squared. So I'll go down here and I'll put in M2. I'm going to come back to the labour hours in a second, and then I'm going to write in the total hours. So for the total hours, I need to do a calculation. So in this case, my calculation is a simple Excel multiplication. You can do this by calculator as well. You don't have to do all this on Excel. You can calculate it. It's relatively straightforward. I'm multiplying one by the other, so it's 175 star this, whatever that's going to be. So I just have equals, in this case it's equals D25 star F25. And that's shown 0 now because I haven't entered this information. And now all I have to do is find that information. So for 100 mil thick, I have a figure there of 0.45. So I can enter it manually, or I can just hit equals, click on that, and I've got 0.45. That's suggesting to me that for 100 mil thick, it's going to take 78.75 person hours. That's the total hours. Okay. So then we can see how many days, and again, depending on your work site, you make and state your assumptions. I'm going to assume that these individuals are working for 9.5 hours per day. So 78.75 will be 8.29 days. Now, if they're working alone, the duration for that task, if I had a task similar to this, the duration for one person working alone would be 8.29 days. If my program suggests that I don't have 8.29 days, I can divide that by the number of people that I think will be in the gang to maybe get a better number. So for example, I could write in the word say below that, say 9 days, okay, because there's no such thing as a 0.29 of a day. So let's say it's 9 days. And then I could write down here, okay, say three person gang, and I'll just divide that in. So I have my 9, I have my 3, just write this in there, and I can just say equals this divided by, just using that forward slash, this. Again, this is basic multiplication and arithmetic. You could probably do that in your head. 3 days. So a gang size, the duration for that task for a gang size of 3 people is 3 days. Duration estimate, 3 days. Highlight that. That's one item. That's what goes into my task. So it's not the 8.29 days. It's not the 0.45. It's the overall quantity multiplied by the rate, the number of hours per unit. That gives you the total number of hours. Divided by the number of hours per day to give you the total number of person working days. In this case, I have 8.29 person days. And then for a 3-person gang, I'm rounding up to 9 days. That's for a 3-person gang that's working out at 3 days. And that's it. End of story. Thank you.